The pick is in.
With the number 10 overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. And this is presented by LinkedIn. Here to talk about this with me is from Locked On Bears, Lauren Cox. Lauren, the Bears, they were a spot. Maybe they could trade up for Ashton Genty. Maybe Tyler Warren would be the first tight end off the board. It is Colston Loveland to Chicago. How are you feeling about the pick?
Yeah, I think Chicago was in a tricky spot at 10, and we knew they would be, where all of the different blue chip elite prospects were all off the board. So now you're kind of trying to take the best of the rest. And clearly Ben Johnson believes that Colston Loveland is going to be that guy. They see him like the Chicago's version of Sam Laporta or TJ Hawkinson that can open up the play action passing game a bit more for Caleb Williams, be a nice compliment for Cole Kmet, and feeling like, yeah, well, kind of just the best option out of the next tier of players. That there wasn't anybody that you love. There was no like obvious player that, oh, the Bears should have taken this guy instead. So you can be happy with a weapon like Loveland for Caleb Williams.
And I think now you have a situation where we know last offseason, Lauren, the Bears tried to build out that offense around Caleb Williams, getting him weapons, signing Keenan Allen, and making sure that DeAndre Swift was in the fold. But Colston Loveland is a player. What are some of the strengths and weaknesses you see for him as he enters the NFL?
Yeah, he's got a physical skill set that you don't see in a lot of tight ends. This sort of next generation of guys who are both big and really fast. We didn't get a combine performance. I mean, we don't have a 40-yard dash because he's recovering from shoulder surgery, but I have a feeling he would have lit up the combine had we been able to see it, because this is a guy that you see, pull away and separate in man coverage, not just a tight end who finds a hole in his zone and sits there, but can run away from linebackers and even slower safeties in the NFL. He's going to get open and then make plays after the catch with the ball in his hands. And I think they see enough upside in him as a blocker. That's not his strength by any means, but it's not terrible. He's not the world's worst blocker either, that he can be an all-around threat in this offense that if they see as a 700-800 yard receiving type tight end that's in that upper echelon of players, that, and you need him to be worth the 10th overall pick.
Still a lot of work to be done with Chicago in the draft, still draft capital to work with. Lauren, where do the Bears go from here now that Colston Loveland's a member of the team?
Yeah, they've got 2 picks early in the second round and then a 3rd round pick as well. That I think that's where Bears fans want to see them get back to rebuilding the trenches. I think that was sort of the hope for 10, but none of the defensive linemen or none of the offensive line were there. None of the defensive linemen were quite the best player available on the board, but they should have some good options to keep investing in those units up front to bolster the both sides of the ball for Chicago, and maybe get another playmaking running back in there too. If you got the time, there should be some good depth in that range.
For continuing coverage of the Chicago Bears, subscribe to Locked On Bears wherever you get your podcasts. And for more on Colston Loveland, let's hear from Locked On Wolverines, who spent a lot of time covering Colston Loveland up close.
If you really want to enhance your passing game, the guy that you need is Colston Loveland. Yes, he is a tight end, but guess what? He plays like that tall wide receiver of your dreams. This is Isaiah Hole, host of the Locked On Wolverines podcast, and I've watched Colston Loveland, who's exited Michigan after 3 years, coming out of Gooding, Idaho. He was Michigan's pass game. The whole receiving of that Michigan had all of last year, pretty much courtesy of Colston Loveland, who bailed out the no quarterback situation in Ann Arbor, right? He is a guy that can absolutely stretch the field for you. He can snag the ball. He's got that uncanny ability to track the football, and he's a touchdown machine. He can get the contested ball, and guess what? He can also run block. He can do a little bit of everything. While others are going to be looking at Tyler Warren from Penn State, Colston Loveland went into the season being thought of as the top tight end in all of college football for a reason. And whatever NFL team gets him, they're just going to absolutely love him. Find out more at Locked On Wolverines podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to us today.